The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Why am I even here? Most people probably thought Eminem would come up with this. Actually, maybe I am made of chocolate. This is Mac Shankroom. The trailer you're about to witness will take you back to a time when I was on TV, which means buckle up, people. Where we're going, there are no breaks.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to see Jason Momoa's ass,
but I did.
but somebody else did. And with that, we're back for another episode of Mage. I am the Reverend Harkon, and before we jump into it, let me give my players a chance to introduce themselves and their characters.
Hi, everybody. I am Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and I'll be playing Lydia Thompson, the most fun ecstatic in this town.
Hello, I'm Maddox, and I will be playing Arthur Light, who is the maybe Euthanatos, maybe a person made from nothing, maybe just the Paradox spirit shoved into a human body. I don't know.
Hello, I'm Ivy Raven, and I play Miami's ass, Anita Maple of the Verbena tradition.
And I am Brad, Timber Brad 411, and I'll be Alistair King, still forever worst hermetic ever.
I have enjoyed fighting with you with that title, but the fact that you have not put points into Prime, I cannot dispute it anymore.
That tracks.
That truth hurt me right in my soul.
I don't know. The worst hermetic would be someone awakened who has no spheres.
I mean, to be fair, the worst hermetic has been Daniel.
Yes. He is still the epitome of the worst hermetic, okay?
Yeah. I think it's because he's also the quintessential hermetic. That's what makes him the worst.
Yes.
Yeah. Double-edged sword.
Double-edged sword.
But last episode, we got to find some information. We got to meet everyone's favorite SAP member, Milton, who is a little bit emotional for his job. But we got to see that Pentex is sticking their claws into the city, and we left off with the Cabal sans Alistair at the Biltmore on the 13th floor, dealing with Frank Reynolds, who is being accosted by a restless spirit of some mobster from Miami's past. And we're going to open with Alistair. Last episode, to get you out of the way, I said that you walked around making phone calls, trying to find people. What does an evening out in the town look like for Alistair?
So once, I think initially he would make like phone calls just to kind of see if the future he was shown is the future they're in. So reaching out, trying to see if like Sarah's there, seeing if she's fine. And then I think initially it would also just be dealing with the fact that he's been sober. And just trying to get like used to it.
Alistair doesn't even have entropy, so the title is definitely falling closer and closer to you. But as you're walking around, you find yourself being nudged in certain directions, mostly because of Arthur's extensive use of entropy and stacking odds in your favor and against Daniel. And you find yourself at a bus stop, and a car screeches to a halt and then finds a parking space nearby. And you see an older woman, kind of business attire, shoulder pads, very, very much still in the 80s. Gets out of the car and comes running up to you and puts her hands on your face, like she can't believe that it's you.
So I would say also, just because Alistair also kind of has like time too, he sort of knows when he needs to be in the right place. So he's got that sort of like innate, but that with Arthur's bullshit. Do I recognize this lady?
There are memories that start to bubble up, almost like film burning up and being replaced. And all the memories that are being wiped out are memories of Victor, and they're being replaced with snapshots instead of images, instead of film, and like home video recordings, like that grainy kind of memory in the back of your mind. These are more like still pictures, portraits, things of that nature that include you and her and Sarah. But this is your mentor in this timeline. This is Victoria.
What are you on about?
She looks at you. I can't believe I actually found you. You've been so difficult to track. Who are you running around with?
I would explain, but I don't know that you'd believe me.
You basically disappeared for a few years there.
Probably about 10ish. We go somewhere to talk.
Yeah. Are you okay? Are you
Better than I've been in a while.
okay? Are you still using?
No,
Oh, good.
no, really good friend helped me with that.
Good. I'm glad somebody got through to you because powers know I tried.
Yeah, it was a bit of a asshat.
Yeah. She's like, can you make anything permanent, or are you still? Okay.
It's funny.
Okay. So some things haven't changed.
You know, I can't be blamed if I wasn't taught properly. And then he just kind of like looks at her and just gives her like that roguish smile.
She brings her hand up to your face again, and she kind of rubs your cheek.
And like instinctively, like Alistair is sort of like that kid being mothered, just like bats her hand away. I was like, all right, enough of that shit.
Oh, you liked when I showed you affection.
This me has gone through a lot.
Oh, okay. Noted. I got something in the car that you might like. I don't know. It's been a while since we've talked, so I don't know where your tastes sit anymore, but you let me know what you think. And she will go open the passenger door for you like a lady. And when she gets into the driver's seat and she turns on the car, you see her pull out a cassette from the glove box and she puts it in, and Depeche Mode's Enjoy the Silence comes on. And she just kind of looks at you for a second like, are you vibing with this? Is this good?
It'll do.
Such a Philistine. And she starts to drive off. But you end up at a restaurant, a little Cuban cafeteria, not too far from the Biltmore. She orders a couple sandwiches for the two of you. And she goes, okay, so what did I miss?
I think the biggest the biggest red flag, or I guess not red flag, alarm bell for her that things have changed for Alistair is the fact that he has an appetite. Like he's just tearing into food. Did you know time travel's a thing?
Dangerous thing, but people shouldn't be doing it.
I'm not your Alistair.
What do you mean?
And he'll go through the entire explanation of what he's been through, everything he's experienced. And then we got dropped here.
That's a lot to take in.
Oh, trust me. It's a lot more to experience. Some bullshit.
And this guy, Daniel,
It was a prick.
did this?
Yeah.
But where are the paradox spirits then that are supposed to be keeping mages in check?
Best case, I mean, there's no best case anymore. He either got rid of them or took them over. But they're not. I think that storm is what's left of Paradox.
Andrew?
And it's gonna fuck us all
I mean, it's just
without lube.
it's the first storm of the season. It's not even predicted to be more than a category 2.
I'm telling you, when that thing hits landfall, if this thing isn't dealt with, a whole lot isn't going to matter.
Okay. How do we stop them?
And then I figure, like, at this point, Alistair would just sort of... I figured this would be about as good of a coincidence / time thing for him to just sort of realize where they are. Can you drop me off at the Biltmore? I got something I need to do there.
Yeah, sure. Is that where you're staying?
No, it's where I think Daniel is.
Okay, so the guy who's leading us into a paradox storm is where you want to be right now?
It's where my friends are.
Oh, you have
The
friends
ones-
now.
Good friends.
Yeah, you're definitely a very different Alistair.
Shut up.
Okay.
I told you I'm not.
Yeah. Let me go pay for this and I'll meet you at the car.
And Alistair will go and sent, like leaning against the car, just kind of like taking everything in. I think for him, a lot of it is processing. So does he remember Victor at all, or is it like Victoria's always been it?
The more you try to think about Victor, the more Victoria
Replaces.
becomes a permanent memory.
Okay. I think almost he would be sort of like still sort of reaching for memories of Victor.
Mhm.
And as they're kind of like slipping away, I guess more stealing his resolve that he probably doesn't think he's going to be able to do enough to stop Daniel,
Mm.
but he knows if he can't, he's at least got to die trying. I think that's just sort of where he's at right now, is kind of like moving to that final confrontation sort of like mindset.
Yeah. You hear what sounds like the spider webbing of glass, that kind of very distinct sound of like a mirror cracking, and some of the other cars in the parking lot start to crunch in on themselves, almost like something is using them like Play-Doh, and they start to slide into each other and crunch and shift, and you see a very large version of the dragon that you were chasing before. And you can feel the Tellurian's threading of time wrapping itself around it. You can sense that they're reaching out for you, but they're also reaching out in the direction of the Biltmore. And it just kind of looks down at you. And as it opens its maw of jagged metal and shattered glass, the owl comes through the umbra and just lands in front of you in his human form. And you see this majestic old wizard from fairy tales. He just kind of hold up his arms. And as he struggles, you see him start to become faded, ethereal, translucent. And he just looks back at you. This is the tipping point.
Finally got away from this fucking dragon.
We've approached the Rubicon, Alistair.
Yeah, Merle, I figured. Which way do you suggest I go?
And he points, and you can feel that everything starts to slow down, or you start to speed up. There's a very strange sensation that comes over you. You can definitely feel that Merlin is helping you, but all the cars on the street start to slow down. The lights, you can see the vibrations, the instances where the tungsten turns off and turns on and turns on and turns off as electricity is kind of coursing through the wires. And he just puts his hand on your shoulder and kind of like turns you. Go. Friends need you.
Is he directing me toward? So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is the dragon there as a distraction and he's pointing me towards something else, or is he pointing me towards the dragon as in like this is gonna take you there?
No, he's pointing you away from the dragon. The dragon is menacing, and there is an aura of hatred that it's emanating.
Yeah. So Alistair will make towards the Biltmore then, the direction that Merlin's pointing him in. Mm-hmm. And while he's heading in that direction, thinking to himself, if I survive this, Victoria's gonna have my ass.
You arrive at the Biltmore, and every step you take is just like you cross blocks of streets. You go from 8th Street and 62nd Avenue straight to Core Way and 62nd Avenue, straight to Miami Children's Hospital down the street, straight to outside the Biltmore. And that's when everything kind of, the lights start to become permanent. The traffic starts to catch up. You can hear cars actually moving at their speed. There is the flashing red, white of a fire truck. As you can see, what looks to be a fire that they have put out a fire in the parking lot across the street where a church sits. There's a van that has the acronym SAPS. A very disheveled and troubled young man is being questioned by the police. It looks like he's crying. But you also see the threads of Lydia, of Anita, of Arthur. And they're all heading into the Biltmore itself. And as you make your way into the hotel, we're going to cut to the 13th floor where the Cabal is. The rest of your little group of miscreants are sitting there facing off against this spectral being and this young man who is looking like he's on death's door. Which one of you would like to initiate the situation?
Oh, Lydia's definitely going to focus all her healing energy into him.
Okay.
She's not worried about, she trusts her companions to have her back.
You almost said coterie mates, didn't you?
No, I was about to say cohorts.
Oh.
All we need is Etienne to come bursting in. Ma'am?
Ma'am? Etienne
he
is
wouldn't.
best
He
fucking
wouldn't
cool.
be useless in this instance.
All right, you just need to tell me my difficulty.
Yep. If you're gonna focus on healing him, there's no other sleepers. So it's only gonna be 6. Just roll your arete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's 4 successes. And what Lydia does is she glances at the spirit, looks at her companions, and says, "Y'all handle that. I got this." And she literally almost gets in position like doing CPR on the guy. And as she puts her hands on him, her hands warm up and start glowing.
Okay. As you're dealing with Frankie on the floor, Anita and Arthur, how would you like to handle the screaming, angry spirit floating in the air above you?
Anita she's just like Anita. She's kind of looking at Arthur. Oh right, you haven't seen that movie. And she just kind of like puts up finger guns at this thing, and she's just gonna open up with forces and entropy on this thing. So
Okay. So you're gonna just blast them with pure primal energy.
Yep.
And focusing through the entropic nature of the restless. Are you making this permanent, or are you just? So I started blasting.
I just I was gonna say anyway. I just start blasting. So.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Yeah. So roll your arete. It's gonna be difficulty 5 because you're in the node, and you have focuses for this.
2 successes.
Okay. You want to use that straight for damage?
Yeah.
Okay. You see his form shatter. There are just where your primal blast hits him, you can just see the form dissipate like water. Like if you just threw a brick straight into a pool, there is this hole where he used to be complete. And he screams in pain. But he is still there for the most part.
Oh fuck! That was so sudden.
And Anita just like on her finger. Arthur, your turn.
I'm just gonna turn and I'll go through my voice and vocalizations focus and just
Okay.
look at it and say what he thinks is the most important thing for every dead person to hear. It's time to move on, and I'm just gonna pump him full of as much entropy as I can.
Oh, straight in.
Shit.
Okay.
You're taking up unnecessary trauma and space.
Yeah. Anita does take 2 points of paradox, which I put on your character sheet. Entropy 3. And time 1, I think
I'll
is
chuck
enough.
a bit of prime in there just to be safe too.
Sure. Unnecessary, but let's
Why
go
not?
full out. Let's go full out.
Yeah.
Uh,
The only one I'm not using is life because I think that wouldn't work.
yeah.
So
unless
4
you wanted,
dice?
unless
No.
you wanted to
No.
find how he died to try and get that life reading off of him, life is not going to help you in this. Straight
He's a
entropy
gangster. I can assume how he died.
assumptions are being made.
Oh, yes,
and
they
three-
are.
3 dice on my arete, so.
But you got arete 4.
Oh, I thought we had to do something special for that. Okay.
We'll do that. But you've
Okay.
paid for it. You're going to use it.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
You raise
What
your
difficulty am I
arete.
swinging?
6. You're in a node.
All right,
You're in a
that's
super node.
3 successes, one of which is a 10.
Okay. So Anita calls on the fantastic movie of the Ghostbusters, causes an ectoplasmic beam to shoot through him, and then as you vocalize whatever you Restless should kind of internalize and think about and deal with on their own terms, you see that there is a moment where he does look down. Half of his face shifts and becomes this monstrous look, almost like a gargoyle kind of half face, and that mouth opens as if to scream. His regular human mouth just kind of grimaces in a nod. And those of you that have never played Wraith, I cannot explain how a Restless just discorporates when he goes into a catharsis, but there is the best image is the destruction of a Mega Man boss. There is just corpus exploding out into the cosmos. And then there's a quiet moment and the room gets cold. And you can see this black aura kind of enveloping this human on the floor. There's a woman in the corner that has become visible. There's a simple, what looks to be iron mask on her face that has this U that comes down and opens up into an A. And as the light catches it, it almost looks like sand is falling like an hourglass. And she's holding out her hand, trying to block Lydia's healing of this man's imminent death.
Is she also on the Restless side, or is she with us?
She is a ghost. She's very see-through. And there is this sound of crying. But there is this schism that is happening. You can hear what sounds like the entire hotel settling at the same time. And those of you that have time itself can feel that there's a break happening. And for a moment, you hear a tear, and you can see the threading of the Tellurian, and it almost looks like there is a hand and a face pressing up against it, trying to break into this reality, pushing against reality itself. And the beak-like nose starts to push through, and you can see just this sliver of Wrinkle's face.
Huh.
And his voice echoes like it's far away in a different room, and he yells out, "Daniel is hiding in Horizon. He's locked himself away in a pocket dimension, and he thinks he's safe there. This little paradox that you're causing is enough for me to get this message across. Find a way to get to him and stop him." And the Tellurian pushes back. The guy coughs out, and even with Lydia's powerful magic, you can still feel his life ebb away.
God damn it. God damn it!
Anita is going to level her finger guns at the lady with the mask.
She holds up her hands. I mean you no harm.
He didn't have to die.
He had to die.
Why?
It is my lady's commands. I do not question it.
Who is your lady?
Lady of Fate. She sits on the seat of fate.
Does she control Paradox?
No, we don't deal with your kind.
Then who do you deal with?
Mortals. Our kind.
We're mortals. You're dealing with us now.
No, you are more. You don't come to our realm.
We don't. There's the reincarnation, but we die.
Not like us. We can't touch you.
Lydia
Something to
gets
think
up
about
and
later.
just walks out.
I will care for him on this side. And as Lydia opens the door, you see Alistair.
Lydia has tears in her eyes as she's walking down the hallway.
What the fuck happened?
Arthur and I played Ghostbuster, and there's a spirit here who was wearing a mask. Is the spirit still there?
She has started to vanish.
Does
Well, she's got-
Alistair see her?
If you walk in, you can catch the last bits of vestiges of her.
And then, like, he'll watch her disappear and then turn around and is like, what the fuck happened?
Daniel's holed up in a pocket dimension where he's holding Horizon. Apparently, Wrinkle is there too, because Wrinkle kind of came in for a second. He gave us a little looky-loo and said that that's where Daniel was. So now we need to figure out how to get in this pocket dimension, though apparently Paradox does it. I don't know. This whole thing's fucked. The Biltmore's fucked. Arthur's toy car is fucked.
Yeah. So weird.
Storyteller, how much quintessence can I absorb from this crazy ass node?
If you're going to try to pull from the node, with Prime 2, you could get up to your avatar rating.
I've already got that. Damn it.
I mean, you can hold more than your avatar rating. It just bleeds off at a slow decay.
Because Lydia hears Anita because she hasn't moved. She's not moving fast. She's devastated by this guy's death.
Yeah.
They want Paradox? I can give them a shit ton of Paradox.
Yes.
And she just takes a deep breath in.
What? So, how do you even fucking find a pocket dimension?
I could, but I've been kind of playing it a bit fast and loose lately, and it fucking hurts if I do it too jaggedy.
Okay, hear me out. This will sound crazy, but remember when we were in Horizon, there was doors to different places.
Okay.
Can we access one of those places and come into Horizon from their side?
The doors are locked and barred.
But
And our keys are gone.
well, I was gonna say if we can get someplace else and maybe like blast the door from their side, we don't have to deal with like maybe some repercussions on our side. The other option is I go up on the roof and I cause a fucking snowstorm in Miami.
Please don't do that. I don't like.
Okay,
the
what
cold.
were sorry, storyteller out of character. What were the 3 realms again? I know one was spirit.
Spirit, the Fae.
What was the
yeah.
Fae realm?
Um,
Because we got a red cap that owes us a favor.
Well, yeah, we had there was
Arcadia
Venus, which
was
spirit,
the Fae realm. Yeah, Saturn.
Pluto for entropy, Saturn for Fae.
Yeah.
And there was 9 of them. There was one for the moon as well, and there was no door for Earth.
Yeah, so the 3 that were available were Pluto for the underworld, Uranus for the wolf home, and Saturn for Arcadia.
How the fuck do we get into Arcadia?
Do we have to like take acid or something? I don't know. I prefer not to if that's how we have to do it. Or is there a way for us to find like a Fae and have them take us there? How hard is it to find a Fae in Miami?
Well, depends on if they're having their Pride Parade or not. But Tish, anyway. Lighten up.
I was laughing.
I mean, I
well-
know, Alistair, you could take us to probably the spirit realm, but God, the last time I was there.
It also, just from what I've experienced, not on that side, it doesn't seem like it would be very welcoming to living things.
Yeah.
I also don't know, once we were over there, how we would find the door.
Well, the lady in the mask here said she worked for the Lady of Fate. So maybe the Lady of Fate would know where the door is if she is I'm assuming someone of importance.
Storyteller, does my ancestral history by chance remember anything about a Lady of Fate?
Let's have you roll.
Sure thing.
So let's do intelligence, academics, and past lives.
I have academics 1, 2. Oh, cool. Shit. And intelligence 3, and then also past lives?
Yep.
Okay. My difficulty, sir?
8.
All right. Then that comes to 2 successes, one of which is a 10.
Okay.
Was not a great roll.
There's a memory that bubbles up as you keep hearing the name, the Lady of Fate, being thrown about. As you remember the sands of time on this restless mask. And there is a drawing of what looks to be the 9 spheres, but there's different glyphs associated with them. Each sphere is also being attached to what looks to be a Guru tribe, to what looks to be a vampiric clan, a Fey Kith, and to one of each of the legions of the underworld.
And I'm guessing I can tell what those are referencing through the past memories and shit, too.
The past lives is what's kind of showing you that each one of the sphere symbols has a vampiric clan on top, a werewolf tribe on the bottom, a kith on the left, and a legion on the right. There's a running theory that the interconnectivity of everything is what holds reality together. But the Lady of Fate is attached to time.
Oddly enough, the Lady of Fate's more associated with time than she is entropy. But all the spheres are layered around vampires, werewolves, the dead, the fae. Everything's tied together in this crazy net. I honestly think you're on the right track, Anita.
Well,
It's just a matter of which
That
place we
spirit
actually think we
also
can get
said
to.
that they don't deal with us
yeah.
because
Well,
we
it
don't
seems like
die like regular mortals do.
Well, it seems like we're more than capable of dealing with them. I'll look at Anita and be like,
I disagree. If she has restless, whatever these are, serving her, she is immensely powerful.
from that Czech storyteller, would I have gotten the basics of what she is? Like, technically also a restless?
Technically, you don't know what a legion is. It makes it sound like the restless are compartmentalized for war.
Okay.
So you have two different sides of the coin, because the mobster definitely was leaning towards a war vibe, but she wasn't at all.
She leads a legion on the other side. I don't know what that means exactly. The dead have other organization. Seems like it's mostly, I don't know, they're saying legion, so I'm guessing combatants. But she's not warlike. Not really.
Does any of this ring any bells for Alistair with his dealing with spirits?
You could try to make a roll, sure.
Yeah, why not?
You want to roll something mundane, or do you want to try to actually pull from spirits?
Like, do I want to reach out to a spirit and see if they'll tell me?
Probe the minds of any local spirits, because you do have mind and spirit.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so roll your irritate.
It's impressive to read minds. It's doubly impressive to read the mind of a ghost.
Yeah, it'll be a difficulty 5.
2 successes.
Okay. It seems like the feminine form of the spirit that prevented Lydia from saving this man's life is still there. And you get the sensation that she's torn about what she had to do. Obviously, in her mind, she was told that this man is fated to die, and as such belongs to the Legion of Fate. But she's also wondering what that means, given that no one has seen Charon in 3 or 4 decades. And there's a lot of thought as to, like, you can feel like that you have instilled doubt in her. She doesn't know if she truly belongs to the mask, or if she is actually who she was when she was alive. And has she been doing this so long that it doesn't matter who she was anymore, that she is the hourglass and the hourglass is her?
But I don't get any sort of sense of, like, Lady of Fate or the Legions or anything. It's just I'm getting stuff.
You know,
off
the
of this.
lady of Fate is in charge of the Legion of Fate. That she
Okay.
is one of the heads of the legions.
Yeah.
And that all the legions have before bowed to Charon, the first ferryman.
Got it. Well, from what I understand, Lady of Fate is not somebody we want to fuck with.
All right, that's fine. There's more than just the door of the dead into Horizon, and the
No, I'm
Fae
not
seem like they're difficult to contact. So why don't we go with the werewolves?
I'm not saying we don't try the Spirit of the Dead. I'm saying we don't try the head of a legion.
Well, I was more saying talk to someone who knew what the fuck's going on so that we could find the door quicker. But sounds
Yeah.
like if they're going to be whatever, don't worry about it. Bashir has been contacted about his werewolf contacts. Maybe they know something, maybe they don't. But like I said, our options are either we find a door, blow it open from the other side into Horizon, or we just need to start making the paradox go crazy up in here. Maybe it'll tear a portal open somehow and we can do what Wrinkle did, but actually in a bigger capacity.
And in reverse.
Yeah.
They're very direct options. Not bad, though.
Well, considering we might all be obliterated here in a couple days because of the hurricane, so I think we're playing too timid at this point, which is the only reason I'm suggesting we do something drastic. It's either this works or it doesn't matter.
I agree with drastic.
Did you say that you notice that there's a soft glow coming from Arthur? His outline is glowing.
I wish I could say he doesn't notice, but with foreign perception, he does.
Is something else going to blow up Arthur?
I don't think so.
Are you a radio?
I can't sing. Not well. So I just don't.
Alistair will look at him warily and like step back.
Okay. Yeah, there's just a soft glow to his outline. Almost like he is a different animation on a different set of celluloid compared to the rest of the world.
Oh, yeah, we think Arthur might be the entropy paradox spirit in a body.
Working theory.
Oh, fun.
Part of me hopes it's true. Another part of me doesn't.
Because I'm pretty sure he was created.
That would explain some things.
Yeah. And he basically is King Arthur from myth and history.
Well,
Wait.
my avatar definitely is. That much I've gathered. My avatar
This
is
is-
King Arthur.
This is a bit on the nose.
Yeah.
Like,
Believe me, I realize that too.
I need to ask somebody a question. Anita kind of just sits down. She sits down like cross-legged and
Can I suggest we go downstairs away from the dead body?
the 13th floor is cut off though. Whatever. Sure, we can do that. Because we're in the node thing, Anita's actually going to yeah, never mind. She's not going to do that. Nah, fuck it. They need paradox. She's going to go out in the hallway and she's going to kind of like spin around in a circle and she's going to make like the floor kind of like melt down into like a staircase, like a spiral staircase into the floor below us. So,
Okay, that's definitely going to be matter.
I love the
Mhm.
motion for that too.
Yep.
I should have done more physical magics. What's all this entropy bullshit done for me?
Yeah. Right. Simple.
Because we're in
matter
the note,
effects.
I'm going to use a quintessence because I'm going to pull some more after we to get down. So
Okay. I mean, it's difficulty 5, so that brings it down to difficulty 4.
0 successes because I rolled a 5 and a 1.
You have Arete 3.
Oh yeah, I forgot to roll an extra die. Okay, that's 1 success.
Okay. It's a slow churn as you're restructuring an entire floor into a staircase, which requires you to kind of move piping and concrete and things like that. And as you're churning and everybody else kind of hears the cracking and the crumbling of the stone and the lumber and the steel girders kind of being reforged, you hear from down the hall, "Frankie, what's that noise? What are you doing over there?" And one of the doors on the far end of the hallway opens up, and you see a young girl and a middle-aged guy, like about late 20s, kind of come out. He's got a Bobby Brown t-shirt, and behind them, the window looking out into the parking lot shatters, and all of you see this metallic representation of Alistair's dragon start to worm its way down the hall. And as it chews up these two bodies and starts to move towards you, you feel again that noise of the entire hotel churning, kind of settling. You can feel that there is a lot of paradox bearing down on the Biltmore. And as the dragon pulses closer to you, Arthur's glow intensifies to the point that everything is too bright to keep your eyes open for a moment. And as the glow dissipates, all of you are in a definite umbral space. There is a sensation of kind of being thrown into a body of wetless water. And there's a sensation of floating. There's no real sense of up, down, left, or right. And the only thing that's there is a rock and this rusted over set of armor that looks up in your direction and nods. And as we are about to go into a questing to see if Arthur can definitely keep his Arete 4th dot, I think this is a good time to go to break. So we will see you all when we come back in a few minutes. Ooh, boy. So before we go into break, we got to see a little bit of an homage to Ghostbusters, a little bit of an homage to Ghost with Patrick Swayze, a little bit of an homage to the terrible Transformer movies that Michael Bay did. And then
Did
we
he
got
do a
to
good
see-
one?
No.
I mean, the first one maybe was
No.
okay.
No.
I
4
just
out
got-
of 10.
Listen, I got my Optimus voice back, so I'm okay. That's all I wanted. But one of the things that is rarely ever seen, I think, is when somebody buys a dot of Arete. There is supposed to be a vision quest, and that's usually handled off stream. I think, given where we are and what's been happening, that a little vision quest could go a long way for this cabal. And so we're going to be handling Arthur's rise from Arete 3 to Arete 4 on camera as a treat for everyone. And we left off with all of you being pulled into an umbral realm. for all intents and purposes, a pocket dimension. Excuse me. And as all of you see Arthur's avatar, the knight, rusted over, pieces of his armor are missing, the rock that he is on is moss covered. The land of Avalon starts to unfold from the rock around you. It is a morning sun. The breeze is temperate. Grasslands all around you. There is a cliffside castle overlooking the entirety of this area. You can hear the sound of water bubbling up from the ground itself, and a lake becomes visible. You can hear trees creaking in the distance, and a forest starts to become grown. A very familiar forest to Anita. There is a flock of swans that descends from the sky and lands in the lake. One pure black onyx with a little crest of white that looks very familiar to Lydia. And there is a young girl that comes up from the surface of the water as she steps towards the group that looks very similar to Sarah. And as she holds out her arms, Arthur will feel a tug at the blade handle and it'll fly out to her. And as she closes her hands and holds it to her chest, the sword reforges down and she stands about mid-thigh high, still in the water. But the knight steps up, and as he does, you can see more pieces of him start to fall off. Rust is taking its toll, and his right leg does not bend at the knee, giving him a strange gait as he walks towards you. There's no voice, though, but he does nod low to you, Arthur.
Just to return the motion.
Where's Ricardo? Where? What the?
He's not there. It's just the four of you.
I'm gonna look down. What is Alistair wearing?
What would Alistair wear to a Renaissance festival?
I mean, what he wears everywhere else: a black t-shirt and fucking jeans.
That's what you're wearing. It is an old Motorhead shirt for Ace of Spades.
We've been here before and it wasn't good. Why are we back?
Couldn't tell you. I know I'm the one who was glowing, but I didn't mean to do any of this.
It's a test to see if you can handle more power.
Oh, thank fuck! I thought I was high again.
Done something similar myself. I am going to use correspondence and my 3 in mind. I have 2 in correspondence and 3 in mind to do clairvoyance to Ricardo.
Roll your arete. You have a mind focus, but you don't have a correspondence
I do not
focus.
have a correspondence focus, but I do have a mind focus.
So that'll raise it to 7. You're in a deep umber realm, so it'll go up to 8.
That is 2 successes.
Okay. You get 2 sentences that you can give him, or 2 flashes of images, or 2 emotional sensations. Unless you want 2 from him. It is a 2-way street.
I want to give him 1, and I want him to give me 1.
Okay.
I'm going to send one to him that says, Arthur has his vision quest. Be safe.
He sends one back. I almost want to switch places because I'm staring at Daniel.
Fuck. Ricardo is facing off with Daniel.
All right.
Oh,
shit.
joy.
Let's hurry this along then. Can we help you? Does your buddy here need to be repaired? Like, what do we need to do?
It's not a repair. That's just how he is. I tap into entropy. That's what everything
corrodes him.
look like. He's fine as much as it doesn't look like he is. And I step forward.
He steps over to Sarah, and there's a moment where she looks at him, she looks at you, and you hear this very not Sarah voice come out of her. It is booming, not only auditorily, but also mentally. Even though she is soft-spoken, it is incredibly loud. But she looks at Arthur. You have let the world slip into chaos, my lord. You are not worthy of the sword.
I understand. My apologies for not living up to what I wanted to be.
I reclaim this then, in the name of Avalon. And you see the knight reach out his arm to her. And as he takes a step into the water, you see the armor start to disintegrate. But it turns to look at you.
Is there any way I can get a sense of what my avatar's intent is by doing this?
There's no face. It's just the armor. So there's no emotion to read. But you could try. Let's see. A perception and expression or enigmas.
I have enigmas. I do not have expression.
Okay.
I only have enigmas 1. So
All right. See if you can discern what he's trying to do.
what was the difficulty? I'm assuming 2 for now, but 3, 6. Fuck.
Difficulty 6, yes.
3 successes.
It almost feels like he wants another chance.
I'll step into the water with him, mirroring him as best I can.
Okay. The water burns.
I just grit my teeth. I'm not leaving. If he wants a second chance, then I'm going to help him get it.
All right. The rest of you see this. Sarah seems to be looking at Arthur, but at the same time, she is cognizant of Alistair's position there. The Black Swan has moved to swim up behind her, kind of just behind her right side, her head, just kind of leaning against her hip, looking at the group. And for the first time, coming out of the forest, you can see what looks to be an older woman. Anita, what does your avatar look like now that there's been a shift in your paradigm?
What do you mean, my paradigm?
Like the way that you practice magic before compared to now.
Mm,
Like, how do you think that would change her?
probably, I don't want to say like it's she doesn't look haggard, but she probably looks like she's had exasperated moments of dealing with me at times, because I used to be very like slow and chill, and something has changed at some point, and now it's more of just like blow it up. But she looks kind of like Anita, but not like Anita, but obviously like older. But like, I don't know, I always had that vibe. She's like, she looks wise. There's always that feeling when you look at somebody that look wise. That's how she looks. Like she has answers to things, but you have to ask the right question. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
She's got like the, I don't want to say it's she's got like dress on and stuff. It's not like so she looks very kind of like there's like leaves stuck in the bottom of the dress and things. So it's kind of like she's been wandering around in the woods almost. So yeah.
Yeah. So you would say there's a wilder look to her.
Sort of, yes.
Okay. This is quite the scene. All four of your avatars are in the same place at the same time. And all of them seem to be connected to Arthur. And you can see that the knight has taken a second step into the water. And the armor starting to slowly be eaten away by it, almost like acid. As Arthur takes his second step in, you can see that his clothes are being eaten away. His skin is starting to get abrasive.
Stop. I know we can fix it.
I'm still in it, but I'm not advancing. I'm waiting to see. I'm guessing Sarah's reaction to what Lydia's saying, even though the lady at the lake is clearly speaking through her at the moment.
She hasn't moved. She's always been, about 20 feet away from the shoreline. And this second step has just kind of shown you just how far away from you she really is.
Lady, let us try.
She looks down at the swan. There's a moment, almost like they are speaking to each other on a different wavelength, on a completely different level of understanding. And the swan turns to look at you. And in its eyes, you see this tormented look. And then she bows her head like she's ashamed. And then she nudges Sarah to step further back. And Sarah does take a step back.
So she stepped back twice now?
Once.
Then I step forward twice.
You've stepped forward twice.
I'm going to put my other hand on the armor's shoulder, even though I know he's probably a rusty, sharp mess right now.
It doesn't feel rusted over to you, because you have the conviction currently to have come into the water with it, so you don't feel the rust on him. You don't feel the difference, the fragility. There's a metal there that needs to be tested. The older woman comes over to Anita and, almost like a wolf in a new pack, she starts to smell everyone except for Arthur. She doesn't go near him. But she points at him.
Alistair is going to look at the old lady, look at Sarah, move up like to the edge of the water, and sort of crouch down next to her.
Next to the older lady.
No, next to Sarah.
Oh, you got to go into the water to get close to Sarah.
Next to the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like water to you. Doesn't have a scent to it or anything.
Lydia can't stop herself. She's going to walk into the water to her swan.
Yeah,
The water is cold to the touch, frigid almost. And every step drags. But the swan doesn't fight you. It does look away, though. What was Alistair going to do?
I mean, at this point, he's just gonna kind of just shrug, say fuck it, and he's gonna cannonball into the lake.
The water's cold. The moment it hits the bottom of your balls and just courses up through the rest of your body. And for an instant, it almost feels like you don't have any clothes on. That's how cold it is. That it just supersedes whatever you have on and just gets right into your bones. And as you come up out of the water and the water just kind of starts to settle, she smiles at you. And her face becomes stone again as she looks back towards Arthur. The old woman looks at Anita, still pointing at Arthur.
Question for you, Agatha. Are we supposed to help Mr. Arthur here reforge himself? Is that what this is about?
She smiles. The king of Camelot has come home.
Anita just kind of like she marches into the water. She's like, fuck it. So
The water for you is the opposite. It's warm, tropical. It's very reminiscent of coming home. There's a sensation like you belong here.
yeah, and Anita's gonna work her way to Arthur as quickly as she can. So
Yeah.
when she reaches Arthur though, she's going to like put her hand on his shoulder, just kind of like here to help you or whatever. So
There's a moment for Arthur where you hear the water sloshing. You can see that everyone is in the water with you. And the second that Anita puts her hand on your shoulder to reaffirm that they're all there with you, there's a vision of the castle on fire. You can see your avatar kneeling, the sword at his knees, dead knights around him, a shattered round table, and on the other side of it is Anita's avatar. And in your soul, in your avatar, you name her Morgan Le Fay. And you're brought back, and the knight takes another step towards Sarah.
The same. My failures and mistakes are not a reason for the world to be broken. Give me one more chance, and if you feel even after that I'm not worthy, then I will never ask to take up the sword again. But if I don't fix this, everything goes, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. And I'm going to actually look at every avatar at this point. I know that you all can tell. It's not a regular hurricane.
Lydia places a hand on his shoulder. She stops.
And he's also, everyone who's touching him can now feel him shaking from the burning pain. He's not comfortable in the slightest. He's just not showing it as best he can.
Yeah, Alistair will join, put a hand like on his back, just be like, yeah, fuck it, why not?
There's a moment where Sarah's head cocks and the eyebrow kind of goes up. Oh. I see. She takes the sword and drives it into the lake so that it's maybe 10 inches into the sand and mud and bedrock of this lake. It's about 10 feet away from Arthur. She says, "Come and claim it then."
I start marching.
The knight follows you now, mimicking your steps.
It's not fast, but it's steady.
And the water's not
like
deep.
a soldier's march.
It doesn't get deep. You barely get to about your knee as far as depth goes. Is there any hesitation in you grabbing the sword?
Not at this point. There's not even a twitch of his hand as he reaches out to grab it, because he needs to stop Daniel. And this is a great tool to help stopping Daniel. And he'll even say out loud as he tries to pull it out, "We have to restore balance."
The moment the sword point breaks the surface of the water, all of you are in a great hall. Stone, banners decorate the walls. One has a coiled dragon, one has a grove of trees, and one has a swimming swan. But you notice that there are 4 others. 2 bottles crossed like swords. There is a set of 3 hearts in a triangle. There are feathers strewn about what looks to be a circle of bones. And then the other one is blank. In the center of the room, there is a round table with 10 chairs. 9 of the chairs have the symbols for the 9 spheres. The knight sits on the 10th chair with no symbol. Where do you direct your avatars to sit?
Lydia directs hers to the sphere of mind.
I'm gonna wait until everyone else has sat down.
Anita will point out the one for forces.
Mister?
I think reflexively, Alistair would want to go to send it to spirit, but I think he sends it to life.
There's a moment where she kind of looks up at you quizzically as you approach the spirit chair. And as you change your mind and pull out the chair for life for her, she smiles warmly at you. This feels right.
It does.
And she grabs your hand as she sits down and she holds it just above her heart. The knight stands up and pulls the 10th chair for you, Arthur.
I will walk over to the entropy chair and pull it out and gesture for him to sit down. And I won't sit down until he does.
He nods. And he steps over. And as he sits down in the entropy chair, all of you are back in the center of the church, outside in front of the Biltmore. The sword is reforged. Arete 4 is yours to keep. You have earned it. And your vision quest has come to a close.
Arthur's going to crack his neck, turn towards the door of the church, look at Lydia, let's go save your fiance, and then I start going that way.
Alistair will follow.
Oh yeah. Fuck it. I'm gonna do something crazy. You're going to hear the sound of like thunder crashing, and Anita is going to turn into electricity and like shoot through like the wall towards the Biltmore.
Okay. That is
fucking awesome.
There's no way to make that coincidental. I'm just going to warn you. But that is a very big display of power. Roll your Arete. It's going to be difficulty 6. There's no sleepers, and you are technically close enough to the node to use some of its gifts.
All right. Well, I'm gonna use 1 willpower for sure.
Okay.
So.
So you got one success automatically.
Yeah, I'm glad I did that because that's the one success I got. So
Okay. There is a moment. Everyone does in fact hear the thunder rolling above you. You can hear that crack of lightning as it lights up some of the, very diminutively, some of the stained glass on the windows as you're making your way towards the front doors. And in a blink of an eye, Anita vanishes, almost becoming electricity for a moment and just shooting outwards and collecting in one point and following the power lines over into the Biltmore, in the direction of the Biltmore. Outside, the firefighters and the police have gone away. The tow truck is just finishing pulling the toy truck onto its bed. Milton is still kind of in shock. There's this moment where it almost feels like he's finished crying for the evening, but he also hasn't been told that his friends are dead. So, but he is now the sole proprietor of SAPS.
Oh. Well, it's just sap at this point.
I would like to use clairvoyance again just to make sure. I'm going to check the 13th floor to see if I see Ricardo, Daniel, anything like that.
Sure. Same difficulty as last time.
That's 3 successes.
Okay. So you're going to get 3 phrases, 3 images, or 3 sensations.
I would like to see 2 images to kind of hone in on location.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to get a sensation from Ricardo. I want to feel what he's feeling.
Oh, that's dangerous with an ecstatic.
I know.
You're saying to the ecstatic.
You're saying to the ecstatic. Like she
Touche.
doesn't live dangerously.
Touche.
They're engaged. I'm certain they've done it before.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's honestly what you're gonna get instead of a dick pic. Is just like, here's some clairvoyance of what I'm doing. Enjoy that.
Enjoy that, baby.
So
I love how he's doing that despite fighting a dragon and Daniel.
yeah. You get an image of the hallway that he's in, and there is confusion as the permanent kind of state of being that he's in. But it looks like the hallway is glitching. It appears to look normal 1 second, and then there is the very clear and very different design to each of the doors as he is looking down the hallway, almost matching the description from the first season. The hotel's in flux, and the closer you get to it, those of you with time can feel it. It's becoming a nexus point.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've found our horizon.
Yep. All right, let's go.
This is going to be awful. I should prepare ahead of time.
Lydia's going to walk up to the clerk at the counter. And using mind, she's going to say, we need to get to the 13th floor now.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your arete. It's a simple command.
Ooh, that's 4 with 2 10s.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said, now, motherfucker, get to
Motherfucker, get your ass moving.
Get the lead out.
There are rare moments where, I mean, they're not rare. You're playing a mage. But there are moments where when you roll incredibly well in Vampire for Dominate,
Mm-hmm.
there's a sensation like, I could rule the world with this power.
Mm-hmm.
That comes through like a flood the moment that you finish giving him this command, and he just snaps to it almost like like just this World War II German soldier just like clicks his heels together. He's like, of course, yes, let's go upstairs to the 13th floor. And he comes around and shows you to the servant elevator. And it is massive.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly designed to hold easily 4, 5, or 6 of those kind of cleaning carts.
Mm-hmm.
And as you get to the 13th floor, the floor itself looks fine. The lights are flickering.
Is the clerk still with us, or is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do I have to roll mind again, or is he still like kind of enthralled?
Oh, he's enthralled.
Okay. Thank you. Now go back to the desk.
Of course.
And the group walks out.
Yep.
As soon as the elevator doors shut and we no longer have a sleeper to worry about, Arthur's going to take the sword and hold it point facing down, and using the sword as a focus and his own bones, blood, tissues, whatever, I'm gonna flex, and everyone's gonna start to see as I try to attempt to grow a suit of armor out of bone.
Okay. That is vulgar.
I am fully aware of that. I'm also spending a quintessence.
Ooh, okay. So you are just literally using mind to create a bone armor?
No, I'm using life.
Life, rather. Sorry, life. Okay.
Life, and then I'll chuck in the little bit of prime I have to,
I
just
mean,
to see if it can help be a support structure.
for a little bit. Roll your
Yeah, I don't
active.
expect it to be there forever, just long enough.
You said you're using a quintessence point, excuse me?
Yes, sir.
So that's going to lower your difficulty to 6.
Excellent. That's 4 successes then.
Okay. There's nothing pleasant about what you're doing, but it is you doing it to yourself.
Mhm.
So you can numb the pain of you pulling literally more bone than your body can and should produce
Yeah.
to create a carapace of sorts. It looks like a off-white version of the armor that your avatar wears.
Except just to keep with natural structure, any helmet that might show up is more skull-shaped than it is helmet-shaped.
Just a protrusion of your own skull
Yep.
out from your face. Not creepy at all.
Nope. It's not like I'm a death mage.
With 4 successes, you have enough to keep it active for the entire 24-hour period, and you can dismiss it and resummon it at will, just so
Fun.
you're aware for that 24 hours.
Noted.
But as you come around the corner, you see that Ricardo is standing over what looks to be one of the Daniels with a black eye and just kind of hands up.
Can we tell which Daniel it is?
No, they all look alike to you. But he looks at all of you coming out and he's just like, okay, so you left me alone, and then this guy came out of nowhere, and I punched him because you said he's a bad guy. But he's been crying, so I don't know how bad
Here.
I
it is.
love you, Ricardo.
Ricardo, in exchange, I will help you and Lydia with any wedding planning you need. All right, I will take on every burden necessary,
I mean,
and I'm
slow,
gonna
man.
walk up and, not menacingly, but just place my sword to the throat of Daniel.
Okay. And he looks up at the group. I'm sorry. I don't know what I might have done to you, but I
Where's
apologize.
the rest of you then?
They're with me where we are.
Great. Show us how to get there.
Yeah. Now.
That's difficult because I'm technically there already. I'm the one that's in charge of time. I came over here because I felt
Then since you're
paradox.
then since you're there, tell the correspondence one to build us a portal.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like it'd be that hard if you guys are masquerading as a bunch of paradox spirits.
Correct. And this, I will go on record as saying, is not what I signed up for.
Yep. Well,
yeah,
here we are.
we're trying to fix that now. So
Right.
the more you help, the quicker this is fixed.
All right.
There is another crack of thunder as like Anita reforms.
That is so impressive, Anita. God damn it.
Alistair is gonna walk up to Daniel, crouch down by his foot, and light the bottom of his pants on fire, but then using is it matter? Or forces. Basically, I want to slow slow and quicken how fast it
Catches.
yeah. To basically help him speed up his decision making.
So
Okay.
you're making slow-mo fire.
Yeah.
God,
He
magic is
he
weird.
looks he looks down at it and he's just like, dude, there's no need for that. I'm not going to fight the group of you.
I don't care if there's a need for it. I did it anyway.
All right.
As you can imagine, everyone in existence is probably under a lot of stress right now. So just
Yeah.
get to
Stress.
it, please.
Oh, I understand, and I don't understand because we're trying to stop what's coming. I don't know. I'm and he looks down at the fire and he's like, I'm helping. You understand this, right? Like I'm not fighting you.
You're causing this, and Alistair speeds it up a little bit.
And making things worse. Honestly, he'll put the fire out if you just help. Hopefully.
I've sent.
We
the
need to talk
message.
to the one in charge now.
He is very difficult to get a hold of.
Well,
But I've sent the message.
you guys are really ineffective. You could just, I guess they never heard of a coup. Also, Arthur loved the look, and she actually goes over and gives Arthur's like skull helmet like a little kiss on the cheek, like cheekbone.
It's cold and bone, exactly as you'd expect it to feel. Because I used life and not some more esoteric shit.
It's all good.
It's what the magic gave me. I just followed along.
Hey,
She's Ravenna. She's touched bone before.
I don't doubt that. While we're here, can I look at the doors? Are any of them jarred, open, anything like that?
One, every time that it glitches so that it looks ajar. Excuse me. And you notice that instead of a number plate, it just has the name Thatcher.
Well, I think we don't really need any more. I take the sword and flat just like tap like you would pat like a kid on the head, and I tap Time Daniel on the head with it. Stay out of trouble, and then I walk towards the door.
Give me an arete roll, please,
Yes, sir.
and add your wonder in dice.
Add my wonder. Well, hopefully I didn't just kill this dude, but oh well, if I did, it's not like he was gonna exist perfectly anyways.
I mean, I rolled well enough, unless you are phenomenal.
Difficulty 6, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Yeah. Actually, no,
Ah.
difficulty 5.
Oh wow. Okay, then the full 6 successes.
Okay. Well, I rolled 3 10s, and I thought
You
this will
thought
help.
you were good.
I thought
Oddly
I
enough,
was
no
good.
10s, but I did all just barely meet the
Yeah.
requirement.
Yep. There's a moment where you tap Time Daniel with the sword. The gem in the hilt glows a sickly green color, and
Oops.
the threads of Tellurian that the Daniel that started this pulled to create this version of himself decay into nothing.
So he just dusts in front of us.
He not only he doesn't just dust, like he is ripped from existence in front of you.
Okay, be careful
And-
where you point that thing.
And there is a silent scream as his mouth opens as wide as possible, and the little embers of fire are the only thing that are left of his existence in this time period.
As he disappears, literally, Alistair is just watching him and doing this.
Well, that's one
He did
thread.
nothing to you.
8 left, I guess. They were all going to have to go in some form or fashion except one anyways, which is going to be the one that dies. And then I'll try to push the door open so that we can go in.
The glitch continues to kind of shift from a typical bedroom into what looks like a very stereotypical hermetic office. There's a desk, there's a comfy chair, high-backed. There's two comfy kind of looking seats for visitors sitting on the opposite side of the chair of the desk. There's a bookshelf. There are a couple of vials of what looks to be this glowing pink liquid. Among them, there are these small energon cubes of the same kind of glowing pink item. It's maybe like 2.5 inches cubed. But it glitches out. It becomes a bedroom. It becomes the office. It becomes a bedroom. It becomes the office. And it just flashes like that. There's no rhyme or reason to how long it stays in one form or another, but the glitch remains.
Is there any Daniel in here?
There is no Daniel in there. There are echoes of Daniel's voice talking to different people. You can hear him referring to a Mr. Hume. You can hear him talking about an Officer White. You can hear him arguing with somebody named Mr. Baker. There is this kind of jovial tone as you see one of the cubes suddenly crushed and turned to dust, and you hear the sound of someone snorting that dust, and the dust just vanishes. And then you hear it's a real shame about that Castrogano fellow. I had high hopes for him. But they're just echoes. It's like spiritual remnants. And every time it glitches into the office, there's a new echo.
Everyone willing to trust some instincts?
Give me,
Lead on.
give me a minute. And she goes to Ricardo.
Yeah, Arthur doesn't do shit until everyone says yes.
Yeah,
So
no.
I don't want to fuck up whatever way you're in right now.
If everybody's going to be in the room, I'm going to be in the room too this time. I don't want to be left behind.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't.
And she takes his hand and says, then let's go, baby.
Arthur
Come into the room with everybody.
Arthur will turn and look at them both holding hands. I mean, it's a good chance to really stress test that for better or for worse thing before you really say it.
Can we elect a new leader?
I never said I was your leader. I'm just the one that wants to protect this place.
Okay, King Arthur, calm down.
I was gonna say, I think unfortunately the heavy is the head that wears the crown there, Arthur. So it's none of us.
So heavy, I need a chiropractor. Fuck.
Yeah, a lady in the lake did give me shit.
I do find it odd that all of your avatars represented something else in what is apparently my soul's history. And he'll, nervously glance at Anita. You were Morgan Le Fay in that case. Although I should say your avatar was.
Oh. I'll have to ask her about that. Might explain why I've just decided to say fuck it and start blowing stuff up, so.
Or I'm rubbing off on you.
Either way, it's hot. But let's deal with this
The only one
later.
that should be rubbing off on anybody is me right now. Okay?
Keep it in your pants.
No, Ricardo, don't keep in your pants. Alistair,
We
get it out of yours as well.
we
Wait.
This is a small room for that kind of party.
Arthur's like, what little bits you can see of his skin through the bone is red, but he's still laughing.
All right, our king. What is your plan?
Well, like I said, instincts, and I'm gonna do something I've already done once, which is close my eyes, spin in a circle, and find the direction that takes us directly to where we need to be.
All right, roll your arete as you are calling on entropy.
I'll spend quintessence again.
Okay.
I got
And
one.
for the-
I got one left now.
No.
For the record, while he's doing this, Alistair is going to start clapping his hands together, mimicking the coconuts from Holy Grail.
Yep. Perfect.
I mean, reality will definitely sense the paradigm connection, if nothing else. Just because Arthur doesn't get it.
Right.
What's my difficulty this time?
With your quintessence usage, it's going to be a difficulty 4.
Excellent. That's 3 successes.
All right. You spin around, eyes closed. There is the sound of clapping coconuts.
Arthur just uses it as like a something to ground on, since he's gonna probably be a little dizzy afterwards. So he's
and
focusing on the sound as much as turning.
there is a moment where you stop. You feel like this is the direction you need to go in. And when you open your eyes, you're looking straight out of the office into the hallway.
Of course. Well, not every decision's a smart one, and I'll start walking that way.
And everybody will notice that as Arthur steps through the threshold of the door into the what would be the hallway of the hotel, he actually blinks out of existence.
Well, let's go. And she drags Ricardo by the hand and walks through the door.
And he's just like, oh, okay, I wasn't told that this was going to be a teleportation trick.
You heard me
Hey, this-
ask for a portal.
This is a different kind of drug trip for the ecstatics.
Yeah.
And as everybody goes through, there's a sensation of being pulled almost by every fiber of your being straight into the center of the universe, and then being pushed at the speed of light back out into a different one. It's almost like Stargate. You have that shooting forward and then that pulling back, and as you come through the threshold, you are in a very dilapidated and ruined husk of what the Biltmore was. It is floating through space. There are constellations that you recognize and constellations that you've never seen before that are all crashing into each other and then spreading out and forming new ones. And at the center of all of this, you can see what looks to be these 9 pillars of light. And in 8 of them, you see the silhouettes of what looks to be a man. One of the pillars is starting to crumble and the light is starting to fade. And as all of the cacophony of voices of the different Daniels start to catch up to you as you're thrust into this pocket dimension, this is where we're going to stop for tonight.
Fuck!
Sons of bitches.
So I'd like to thank all of you for going on this ride with me, and I'd like to thank all the audience for sticking it with us. I think this has been a hell of a ride, and I can't wait to see how this wraps up.
4 seasons of absolute reality bending insanity.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And if you enjoyed this session, come hang out with us on Discord. That is where we not only hang out on the daily, we do weekly Zoom calls with the community, and we also cast our games from our Discord community. So trust me, there will be some casting calls coming up soon, and you want to be in the community if you want to be considered to stream with us. If you missed any prior sessions from tonight, you can check those out on our YouTube channel. You can also check out the previous seasons of Mage. They are all in one little handy grouping on the front page. All the seasons are there for your enjoyment. And if you enjoy D&D or Call of Cthulhu, you can check out the Ishvel YouTube page because our GM Tess has her own channel with her content there. Okay, my husband, or Astral, is spamming stuff, so I'm trying to keep up. Okay. It's dueling mods. All right, and definitely check out some of our friends who are also streamers, one of which is Ravnos Archon. Will, go ahead and tell us what you've got going on over on your channel.
Well, Mondays for me are Vampire the Masquerade. I have a dual storyline, Anarch, Camarilla, 2 different groups running through a what if the Beckoning had happened in 1980 instead of in the modern day. I have Tuesdays are normally for Legend of the Five Rings and Werewolf of the Wild West, but Mage takes precedence. And starting in the new year, I'm going to be shifting over from Fridays to a new day for my Vampire and my as of yet undisclosed other game that I'll be running.
Ooh. All right. And Ivy Raven, tell us what you do on your channel.
I stream video games.
Yes, you do.
And talk about the TTRPGs I play in. I also talk about like sometimes theory or ideas or whatever. I also talk about whatever chat wants to talk about, typically, unless it's something I have no idea about. And in which case I typically just be like, cool, bro. And then I'll talk about something else.
And if you would like to get some McStabber Studios merch, you can check out our Zazzle link that is in chat. We have merch for the studio and for various campaigns and chronicles that have been run. Also for one-shots and things, there's been a few merch made. And there is a ya boy Twitch from our Vampire Chronicles merch there too. So check that out. Make sure you are signed in though, because some of our merch has to be rated adult because of content on the merch. So you want to make sure you're signed in so you can see everything. Like the Camp Wish a Motherfucker Would Camp Counselor t-shirt. It's awesome. And if you would like to support the amazing cast of this game, you can do so by showing us your biddies. It goes to the players at this table, not me as Mama McStabber, because I'm one of the heads of the studio. So truly, if you want to support those, donate some biddies, or you can even give a donation under our Stream Elements donation link. If you would like to support the studio, you can buy Mama a coffee at our coffee site, or you can subscribe here on Twitch. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can use that for 1 free monthly subscription on here, and you might want to consider giving it to us. And let's see. Did the support link not go through? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, I see that. I see stuff. Yeah. Okay. And I think that's everything before I go into schedule. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Not used to doing outro. Shanky usually does it and then prompts me. So I'm like, okay, I think I've got everything. Anyway, so coming up over the next week, we have on Saturday, Call of Cthulhu 7E at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's London Esoteric Society. Y'all, we was about to rock out with our cocks out here. You definitely gonna rock out with your cocks out on Call of Cthulhu, okay? So seriously, it is crazy. These investigators are reading all the books that should be burned. They are summoning elder beings that should not be summoned. They are doing all the bad shit to rout out some cult shit. And I'm telling you what, they are losing sanity and luck at an alarming rate. So join them on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern for a fun romp in Victoria and London. And on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, the cast of Windy City After Dark will be live for the Season 8 Q&A. So join us live Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be me, Ivy Raven here, Timber Brad, as well as Urini, Not your Audi.
What's really funny is you had to say it wrong because there's been so many King Arthur references in this stream.
Yes.
I prefer this interpretation of his name.
You're any, not your Audi. Because
God damn it.
hashtag cult quotes.
'Cause that's all it's going to be now.
And Mischievous Red will all be there with Shanky to answer your questions about Season 8, about the characters, about SPCs or storylines, or where things may go from here. So join us then on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern for that. And of course, we will be back here for Mage on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We about to rock Daniel Thatcher's world. And try to stop the Avatar storm. But hey, we've got a paradox spirit on our side. And if we can stop Daniel, we might have all of them on our side.
I actually already have a plan forming in my brain of how to like maybe do something like that.
Yep. So thank you again so much for joining us. But we really want you to make sure that you not only, support us, but support yourself as well. Take care of your mental well-being. It is something that we really are big proponents of here at McStabber Studios. Most of us in this community struggle with some kind of mental health issues in varying degrees. So really, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Self-care is never selfish. Reach out to those around you if you need that support. And if you don't have that support and you are in crisis, right now in chat, there are a listing of various crisis lines that can offer you support that you can call or text. And if you are outside of the U.S. viewing this stream on Twitch, you will see that there is a link for Find a Helpline. That site is international. You go to that site, you put in your country, and it will tell you what crisis lines are available in your country, and they cover over 140 countries. So please get the help you need if you need it. And I'm a McStabber. I'm a registered nurse. Timber Brad here is also a registered nurse. We don't just care about your mental health, we care about your physical health too. Please go get your shots.
Get 'em, please.
Mama is going Friday to get her COVID bivalent booster and her flu shot all at once.
You can do it. It's safe to do so.
If little old mama, who's not even 5'3", can handle that, y'all can handle that too. So go get it done. And literally, make sure that your routine vaccinations are up to date, your polio, your tetanus stuff, and make sure that your kids, if they are appropriate for it, have their RSV vaccine. Because legit, it is sending little babies into the hospital at alarming rates right now. Hospitals are in pediatric crisis, not having enough beds for these sick children. So please, 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 get the vaccines. They are important. They help people live and help protect those around you as well. And I'm going to say it. Fuck Putin. His fucking military just fucking sent missiles accidentally into Poland. Either it was intentional or there's some really incompetent fucking soldiers. I'm just saying.
Either way is a fucking problem.
Either way is a fucking problem. So yeah, World War III might come. Yay. And I live near DC. Bye, y'all. No. But no, so yeah, Putin sucks. The Iranian government sucks. Fuck them. Fuck them. They have literally put a chokehold on folks to make sure that the details aren't coming out of the country about what's going on. They are targeting people that have been protesting. They are targeting people that are reporting on it. They are targeting all these people, and they plan to murder them all. That's what's going on in Iran. And don't be a douche to people in your community. And I'm sorry, but if you vote for parties that want to take away human rights, you're no friend of mine. And I will say that really, we have to look out for everybody, for those around us, because if we don't, we won't succeed as a race of human beings. So be kind, be compassionate. Focus on that instead of just focusing on trying to be nice, because nice is performative. Said with love. See y'all later.